Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Green White Checker TV. I will be your host for this evening. My name is Boomer Logan, and I am very excited to be bringing you the Area 51 Super Speedway Series here on Sunday nights with the NextGen NASCAR Cup Car. Going to be another exciting battle here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, or Atlanta Super Speedway as I like to call it now, after the repave here in Georgia. Definitely a unique racetrack, probably one of the fastest 1.5 miles we have here in the NASCAR schedule, maybe even possibly in the United States or in the world. It's a very unique challenge at this racetrack now with the higher banking. I believe we have 28 degrees of banking in the corners, and these cars are going to be able to do pretty much full throttle just about all the way throughout the run. Tires still make a bit of a factor, as they would at any other 1.5 mile speedway, but this one's going to be an exciting one. We saw one race here already this season where Gabe Butler emerged victorious in that number 88 machine, him and his teammates electing to take tires late in the run, and that handling was the key for them to be able to finish the race pretty easily ahead of everyone else. So we do have a notebook for everyone to come back to this racetrack. This is the second time we've been here in sanctioned league action here at Area 51, so at least there is a bit of a setup book or a notebook to refer back to from that last race, and we'll see how many have been able to learn from that first experience here. This will definitely play into factor. This is our second of 3 races here this season, as we're getting into the second half of the regular season. Got 8 races. This will be the 6th race of the season. 8 races on the schedule before we get into the playoffs. And why don't we pull up some point standings here just to get an idea of where we stand right now. We see Eric Laurie currently at the top of the charts with 177 points. Should be in pretty good position to make his way into the playoffs, but still a lot of time left. He is being trailed by Jim Brooks with 164 points, Bud Steele with 160, Gabe Butler with 159, and Kevin Freese in the top 5 with 132 points. So those guys are definitely feeling good, I would say, as far as comfortable to make it to that cutoff in the playoffs. I believe we're taking only 8 drivers, so that's going to be a pretty big cutoff. I mean, there's a lot of guys vying just outside of the top 10 there, outside of the top 8 that are going to be vying for those spots as well. So we're taking to the grid now, so we're going to get a chance. We'll hide these championship points if they will go away. Maybe not. Maybe a technical difficulty there. I apologize. We'll get that handled in a second, but we're going to try and pull up our grid, see if we can get that graphic there by itself. Maybe not.
Come
Points.
on, Boomer. I know you can do it.
Points are trying to be a bit of a pain here. Let's see. All right, well, we'll pull up the grid at least and get that straightened away. We see Gabe Butler, returning winner from this event earlier this season in that 88 machine. He's going to stick it on the pole. James Moen to the outside of row number 1, starting in that second position. Should be a great opportunity for them tonight. Timmy Reed's going to claim that 3rd spot in that second lane with Zachary Workman in the outside of row number 2. Gael Brooks, not usually one to qualify, but he sticks it in P5 inside of row number 3 with his dad, Jim Brooks, just to his outside. So that's a great starting effort for those guys tonight. Dude Conrad will pick up the 7th starting spot with Tom Dixon in the 411 machine of Team Extreme to his outside. Bud Steele in the number 10 machine will have Ryan Decker to his outside in that 61. Brad Sligel and Larry Fairman there in the top 12. Getting to our second page here. If we can. Having a little bit of technical difficulties here. We do see, looks like for the most part, everyone else outside of the top 12 has elected not to qualify. Kevin Freese starting 13th, and it shows Matt Wagner starting 14th, but I believe we'll have you up in the booth tonight.
Yes, I am.
All right.
I've been out there taking laps with some of them guys.
All right. Getting some practice, doing some pre-race notes, taking some notes for the broadcast. I appreciate it.
Well, there's It's not really much. It's down the bottom. It feels kind of bumpy, almost kind of. Once you get on that apron of the racetrack, but I don't think we're going to use that part of the racetrack here today. I don't think.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Definitely going to be fun to come back to this racetrack. As I mentioned earlier, this is the second time we've been here, so there's a bit of a set of notes for everyone to rely on from that first race. But before we get to that, we'll finish the rest of the lineup with Eric Laurie, Richard Sanchez, Brandon Briggs, and Edwin Outlaw. They did not elect to take a time, so that starting position is set by their iRacing, their current iRating. So see if we can take a quick break here and try and settle some of those technical difficulties. We'll be right back for the start of this action.
I might be a little quiet. I've been monkeying where to place my damn microphone. Actually, I'll wait till the end of the race.
Yeah. All right, we are back and we are ready for the start of the action as the green flag is underway. We'll try and continue to get that graphic figured out for you. Try and clear that from the screen. I apologize for those technical difficulties, but we see Gabe Butler taking to the green flag, and he's off to an early lead. He's going to stick in that inside lane. He's not going to pull up in front of the 7 of James Mullen. But we are underway here for 75 laps tonight at the Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Let's see if these guys learned from last time. 4 tires were the key. Is see some of these drivers can remember what happened last time. What ultimately gave Butler the win.
Alright. Sorry for those technical difficulties there.
You're fine.
I don't know if we are going to be able to get that cleared or not, but we did see Zachary Workman. He is running in that number 18 machine. Has grabbed the lead in front of Gabe Butler. I believe those guys will be working together tonight, even though you see the 2 different manufacturers on those cars. Currently running in third, we have Jim Brooks, followed by James Moen and Gael Brooks in 5th place. Bud Steele has found his way to 6th.
3 wide going into turn 1.
3 wide back in the pack here. 071, the 8, and the 411. 3 wide, thought better of it as Dude Conrad and Kevin Freeze are trying to work that outside with teammate Eric Laurie just to their inside. And that 411 was Tom Dixon working hard in the middle. Gets shuffled back just a little bit. This is most of the action that we see back here from about 10th on back, as most of the drivers are pretty much single file ahead of Eric Laurie there. So most of our top 10 just kind of riding around. We saw a lot of patience at this race last time, Matt, just from, I think, the unknowns of not knowing what might actually happen. But do you think these guys are going to be a little more aggressive tonight, as you mentioned with that second race here, that return?
Got a little more... I do see some drivers running where they're at. We'll run pretty cautiously, probably save low fuel. And then there are some drivers who want to get to the front. I know Dude Conrad wants to get to the front. So anybody looking for the 8 and the 25 try to slice their way through the field.
Definitely trying to make that outside lane work.
And they're breaking the 61 with them.
61 of Ryan Decker there on the outside lane. The 411 is going to jump up to that high side as well. It's clicking off laps here pretty quickly. These cars are running quite a bit faster than they normally would at a mile and a half. They're pretty much all wide open, I would assume, still at this point. Maybe in a couple laps they might have to start lifting a little bit as they get into the corners. But for the most part, you can definitely qualify wide open here, where you could almost before. Definitely was pretty treacherous on the old surface, but with the new repave, the fresh asphalt, and the higher banking in the corners, it's definitely a lot easier to hold that wide open throttle all the way around the track.
Yeah, especially if you got clean air like Zach Workman is. It's a lot easier to drive, I thought. But after about 10, 15 laps, if you're right behind somebody, car does tend to push up a little bit. You have to breathe it just a tad. Looked like James Mohan was trying to get right in front of Duke Conrad there. Use that outside lane. Yep, here goes the 7 of James Mohan going up to the second lane. Hopefully Duke Conrad give him a push. Oh, 3 wide back there. Oh, so close to 61. Almost tagged the wall there. Oh, we got trouble. Yep, that's trouble.
Still wrecking here down the front straightaway is the 7 machine of James Mohan. Green flag still in the air, though. We still stay green. Yellow is out now.
Yeah, that was a yeah, bad push by Duke Conrad to James Mohan there. Tough break for James. I think his car may be okay.
We'll have to wait and see. I think we're going to take a second to take a pause under yellow here. We'll get back caught up with the action, try and figure out these graphics issues. Apologies for those technical difficulties, but we will be right back.
I have
All right, for now, it looks like we have our issues resolved. Apologies for those technical difficulties, but looks like you had a bit of a view of that action there. Matt, do you want to take us through what happened to bring out our yellow flag? Unfortunately, we don't have a replay of it, but do you want to walk us through?
I can. Dude Conrad probably bumped the 7 car of James Mohan. It got him a little sideways there, and ended up getting himself in the wall. And his car should be all right. Cars looks okay. I don't think he's used his fast repair. I think he's all right there.
That is good to know that he has saved that fast repair. It looks like I'm not currently scoring Dude Conrad, so I don't know if he's still towing back to the pits from that incident, but we do know that James Moen is back out on track.
I'm not scoring him either.
Okay, I'm not scoring Dude either, so I don't know if he might have opted to retire or not, but we'll have to wait and see. Get you an update on that as soon as we can. Kevin Freese has found his way to the front of the pack in front of teammate Gabe Butler, and Zach Workman, his other teammate, to the outside of him. They're going to restart here through the Geico restart zone, up through the gears, shifting on those sequential gearboxes, getting up to 5th gear in these new next-gen cars. See if they can figure out a way to get that 18 down into that inside lane. He should have a hole here, I would think, before Bud Steele, but it looks like Bud's going to close that door just about. Yeah. 18 can't quite get down. He tried, but couldn't. 25 is going to lead this pack on the inside lane. Jim Brooks still working on that outside lane now. He's going to pick up the 18 of Zachary Workman. Also got the 16 machine of Larry Fairman there, 4th in line on that inside lane, followed by a slew of Team Extreme drivers. Timmy Reed and James Moen in the inside, as well as Tom Dixon. See Brandon Briggs there peeking into that outside lane in that Me car. Talladega Nights style paint scheme.
Mm-hmm. So it was Daytona week, right? And most of these guys have been running the official A-Fixed. So some of these guys have ran this car a lot during this week. So maybe that could help them with this car at this track here this week.
Yeah, we will see. Hopefully that gives them more seat time in these cars. Obviously, last season we were running the Xfinity Series here on Sunday nights. Now we switched to the Next Gen Series. So a lot of planning and preparation over the off season with different events for testing.
Yes, sir.
And a lot of opportunities for testing. We've added the Atlanta Motor Speedway and the iRacing Super Speedway to the calendar, so lots of opportunity to get those. But you're definitely right, Matt. Now that the NASCAR Series, Cup Series, Xfinity and Truck Series for that matter, are all back after the Daytona 500 today, this weekend, they are going to be in official series here on iRacing following that schedule.
Oh, we got a caution.
We got a caution. Yellow flag is out on the speedway. Looks like it was further back in the pack. Brad Slagle looks like he has crashed. Let's see if we can pick up a quick view from our blimp camera. See what happened here.
That was a like what we talked about earlier, Boomer. A push gone wrong.
Yeah, it gets a little bit outside there. Looks like Brad Slagle, the 52 machine, and unfortunately just gets turned. Yeah,
it's just it's a byproduct of people checking up and staying on the bottom and everybody who doesn't pay attention. That's exactly what happens.
Yeah, see if we can get a rear view of that real quick.
Around he goes.
Big push.
No real harm done to Richard Sanchez's car. That car may be okay, but I'm looking at Brad's car. It's actually not that bad either.
Yeah, the 052.
Yeah.
of Brad
As far as
Sligler.
your tanks,
He took a little bit of an impact there from his teammate in the 7 of James Moen, but not too bad. James Moen looks pretty good, now being collected in 2 wrecks that we've seen tonight. This guy's carrying the Team Extreme colors. A little bit of contact afterwards there with Brandon Briggs, but other than that, for the most part, okay. Brad Slagle probably collecting the most damage, but
none of his doing.
Yeah. All right, well, we'll take a look. Looks like most of the field here is going to hop down onto pit lane. Looks like about half the field, actually. Kevin Freese, Timmy Reed, Brandon Briggs, a couple guys further back. James Mullen, Zachary Workman, Eric Laurie decided to pit under caution there, trying to get some either repairs done or maybe split off strategy. We'll have to wait and see. But that brings us back to Gabe Butler. Currently stayed out, leading the race in that 88 machine with 21 laps, now 22 laps completed.
Let's see, some of these drivers are taking the opportunity to top off the tanks.
Yeah, there's a lot of guys. Zachary Workman, Ryan Decker, Eric Laurie, and Richard Sanchez in that time for fuel only.
I would do it. It's worth it.
James Monen as well. Yeah, it's definitely, gets you a little bit further. I mean, could definitely split this race into a 2-stopper, as a lot of these drivers can go just over 30 laps on fuel. If there's anything that you can do, to make it one stop from here to the end to guarantee that, that'd definitely be helpful. Obviously, about 52, 53 laps to go here.
Yeah.
So it's definitely still one stop, even if you did stop on that first lap. But the more fuel you put in it now, the less you have to put in later, which is helpful. So we will take the green with, or on lap number 23, I should say. About to say 22 will be completed. Gabe Butler in the lead, did not pit this time on this caution. Bud Steele, Larry Fairman, and Jim Brooks. Tom Dixon as well did not pit. The rest of your field has pitted behind them, so Timmy Reed on back. I'll take the opportunity to pit this time as we are underway. 88 machine and Gabe Butler sees the green flag. He takes off like a rocket. This whole field is quite split up here. Gabe Butler's out to a huge lead right now. Hopefully that doesn't bite him in the draft, where the rest of the drivers can come get back up to catch him and have a big run.
It may. Yeah, no, he elected to stay with him.
But Steele's going to play nice. Probably smart move on lap 23, not even 1/3 of the way through this race yet.
If you want to win this race, you're going to have to keep Gabe Butler away from the front. So if you're going to do it, you probably have to do it early. Maybe catch him outside the draft, which I seriously doubt will happen, but you never know. Look at Gael Brooks on the outside. Well, no, never mind.
Yeah, this is fairly uncharacteristic for both Jim and Gael. Typically, they are more likely to kind of hang out in the back and run their race and let things kind of play out, and try to stay out of trouble and be there at the end. But they're right in the thick of it. I mean, they qualified. Gael qualified 3rd. Jim qualified 5th. So they're both having a pretty solid night so far.
Just another notable. Kevin Freese has retired from this event.
Okay, good to know. So, obviously, Matt scored after running some practice laps for the broadcast, so we appreciate you getting that insight. He scored 18th. Obviously, he's up in the booth with me. Edwin Outlaw does not look like he even took to the grid tonight. Dude Conrad retiring, Kevin Freese retiring. And I'm currently scoring James Mullen in the pits.
Really?
I don't know if he's getting more damage taken care of or had more damage from that last wreck, but he is currently sitting in the pits. But back to the action, lap number 26 we are on now. Gabe Butler leading the field, parading around Atlanta Motor Speedway here with Bud Steele in tow. Larry Fairman just behind him. 3 cars broken away on the inside lane. Got to go back to Jim Brooks in the 4th position right now. and Brandon Briggs to his outside before we see any too wide action there. Pretty quiet so far other than a couple small issues. Most of them happening further back in the pack, but we've definitely seen a couple pushes that... Ooh, we get a little bit of three-wide action there! Oh, Gael Brooks got tagged, turned around, he's in the outside wall. Man, right as I say something.
Yeah, that was...
This will actually be caution number 3. We had to reset SDK, so that caution count will be off. I apologize for that. Gael's going to get that car back rolling again. Let's see if we can get a view of that big wreck there.
I'm gonna go back to.
We saw the 3 wide there as the. We'll bring it back and bring it back to a replay or a slow-mo view here. See if we can grab the start of that caution. We saw 3 wide there. 411 just kind of follows the inside line. Zachary Workman wasn't expecting him to be there at all. Gael and him were just kind of riding along in their lanes. The 411 just comes up, expecting to follow the bottom of the track, and they weren't quite expecting him to be there. So,
yeah, that was just a byproduct of
yeah,
bad angle.
Yeah, bad angle, and I mean this front stretch is so, and you can kind of see it there in the shot where it comes back down, but it's so wide in the middle of the front straightaway, and then it narrows back down. I mean, it's almost like they designed the track to purposely have those issues, because we've seen a lot of you can get good runs on the back stretch or on the front stretch down through the trioval there, but it's so much narrower as you get back into turn 1. It just almost seems like they designed it to breed problems and issues and try to get people to go for that run and try to make it in. But interesting for sure. But we do have cars down pit road. Gabe Butler is going to lead them into that number 1 pit stall after qualifying first. Drivers are getting their service. Can't see the crews, but I promise you, as you see the cars going up on each side, that means they're getting tires on that side. So left side's up there for a couple cars, and when they slam back down, they are good to go. Larry Fairman back out on the racetrack still in that Black Rifle Coffee Company machine number 16. Him and Brandon Briggs are going to stay out here. Larry Fairman hasn't pit in a little while here. He's just seems like he's just trying to grab some experience up at the front.
Yeah, maybe. I'm thinking the only way he can get to the front is probably taking that track position, possibly, or coming in to 1 to go.
Yeah,
I have no idea.
I know if you.
We'll have to find out. Yeah. I'd like to see some new guys up the front.
Yeah.
Come on, there.
We'll see if he pits this time. I can't remember if you do get a penalty if you don't pit the first time, but do pit the second time. Looks like he may stay out, but Brandon Briggs is kind of teasing like he's going to come in here. Brandon is going to come on down to pit road.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. He faked us out. I saw him go wide out of camera view, but you can see how. So you can see it's almost 5 cars wide here on the front stretch, and you could tell that the 411 was definitely just following his lane on that inside line, whereas the 18 and the 71 outside of the 18 were just trying to, follow kind of the curve, more or less the general curve, not the actual lane of the inside. But who knows, maybe their spotters didn't tell them they were 3 wide. Sometimes that does happen, but unfortunately for them, Gael's going to get a fast repair taken, and I think he'll be good to go. He's going to come back out on the track on the 9th position, so hopefully no harm, no foul for him or Zachary Workman. So we didn't see a single yellow at all under the first race here at Atlanta earlier this season, but we've seen now 3 in the first third of this race. You think that's just a product of people are familiar with the track and trying to go crazy, or?
No, I think you get some of these drivers get confused. That white line. I know Area 51 on some tracks. I know the Indy side, we don't use passing below the apron of the racetrack until the last lap, but that's Indy rules. I have no idea what the rules are here.
Right, he wasn't
for that line. So.
And Tom Dixon wasn't under the line. He was just following the line on the bottom of the track.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's such a great area because you can see how much it fans out on that front stretch there. As we are back underway, Larry Fairman in the 16 machine leading the way with the 510 of Richard Sanchez just behind him, the 63 of Brandon Briggs, and that 88 machine making a move to the bottom, trying to get back to the front, bringing Bud Steele with him.
Plus, we were away for about a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, last week had a week off for the Super Bowl. Now we're back. And we'll be back every week here on Sunday nights until the finale of this first season here at Area 51 on Sunday nights in the Next Gen series. We'll have 3 seasons throughout the year, but this will be the first one. Race number 6 tonight. And halfway through the season after tonight has been a good season so far. It's seen a few different winners. And looking forward to it ramping up towards the race for the championship. We do have Caitlin Groves chiming in the chat saying, "Let's go, Decker." Ryan Decker there in this 61 machine. Probably one of the only guys working on that outside lane right now.
No, that and I got my camera view up too high. Is that Brandon Briggs with it? No, it's not, is it?
He's got Brandon Briggs in front of him, yep.
Okay.
Thanks for chiming in, Caitlin. Give you a chance to ride along with Ryan here. Jumps to the inside lane down behind one of the Team Extreme drivers. You can hear him playing with that throttle there. They're already starting to lift just a little bit as they get into the corner. Sometimes they get a little bit of a checkup too. If one car bobbles or slows up, yeah.
Save a little tire, save a little fuel. So I have no idea if they can make it up 2 stops from here. I don't think that's possible.
Yeah, I think it's about 30.
30 was
30 to 32. Yeah.
Ooh.
So it'll be close. I think everyone will have to pit one more time from here. Yeah, it'll definitely have to still be a one stop race for everyone in the field, but Ryan Decker back there just kind of filling it out. Looks like he's saving some tire and some fuel by lifting going into the corners. Definitely helps. You don't have to be full throttle if you're not at the front of the pack, but the guy who is full throttle right now, though, is that 510 of Richard Sanchez. He's found his way in front of Gabe Butler, ahead of Bud Steele and Jim Brooks.
Oh, you're fine. So, I'm guessing up the target number. Man, they have to split this run into 35s, and Boomer, I don't think that's possible.
We'll see. I would think that probably the window is going to open here about lap 45, so in about 7 laps here, the window to open to the end of the race will be there to take fuel. Definitely have to be a little conservative, so we'll see if people jump right on that number 45 lap count, or if they're going to stick around for a little bit longer, try and go a little bit more. Obviously, the less fuel you have to put in at the end saves you time on pit road, so we'll see how that works out.
Looks like the Daytona 500 experience that Gael took on what was it, last Saturday. It kind of helped him out a little bit.
Yeah. You know, Gael,
just FYI, he crashed in the last lap.
Yeah, he said he did say obviously he's been involved in one accident tonight, but not of his own doing. Unfortunately, just a bystander. But he did say that he's not usually a guy that tries to make moves early in the race. You know, he mentioned earlier he kind of tries to stick around in the back and see what happens and wait for other things to play out. But he's being not, I wouldn't say aggressive, but he's up there in the mix, and it's good to see a little bit of confidence there from that 71 machine.
You got to make things happen. It's the last lap. You ain't gonna lift. It's like the race today. You ain't gonna lift on the last lap.
Definitely not wanting to when you're going for the win. Obviously, these drivers really can't help themselves if they see an opportunity or feel like they've got a shot to make a move. They're probably going to make it,
Yeah.
and they're going to take it. So Unfortunately, sometimes they can't help themselves, but it's just part of the spirit of competition.
It's
You wouldn't
racing.
be out here if you didn't want to win and lead every single lap. So obviously there's different strategies to get to the front and win these races, but you wouldn't be out here if you didn't want to make those moves at least at the end and try to be there at the end and make to be in a position to make those moves and try to take home a victory every night.
Yeah.
So Bud Steele is kind of trying to work both lines, but that 18 of Zachary Workman now has caught up to him. Guy Brooks pushing that 18 machine.
Yeah, that top lane is starting to work up a little bit. They're slowly trying to make it work. Brandon Briggs needs to be on the 71's bumper to make that work, and he hasn't got to his bumper yet.
Not quite there. So we have settled in here just a little bit. Now lap 44. Just over halfway. Should be getting pretty close to that magical number to make it on one more stop, as we mentioned, but just kind of clicking away laps. Got into a bit of a groove here, just settling in for the most part.
Yeah, look at that outside momentum now.
Yeah, the 18 of Zachary Workman is there. Alongside Bud Steele, he's starting to get up to the front. He might try and duck down in front of that 10 if he gets clear. Try and get in line with his teammates of the 510 and the 88. Gail's definitely doing a great job giving him pushes when he needs, but you see the 18 there side drafting off of the 10 down the backstretch. That should give him a pretty good run into the corner.
Yeah, that's the worst feeling in the world. Your car literally drops 10, 15 miles an hour. Because the right rear is the most sensitive part on this car, and it's the worst feeling. You can't even do anything. It takes so long to build that momentum back up again, and by the time then you lost 5, 6, 7 spots, and it just grows.
Yeah, there as you see 18 machine losing a little bit of momentum there. He's going to duck down to the inside lane. When they get to that quarter panel of the car next to them, that side draft that they're trying to do, they're trying to push air, that sideways movement, to push air onto the deck lid of the car next to them, and that air gets trapped by the spoiler, and that's what Matt was mentioning, where you lose almost 5 to 10 or 15 miles an hour of speed because that car is just by moving down closer to you, that air between the two cars gets trapped and it has nowhere to go but onto your spoiler, and it almost it sucks you back and pulls you back. So it's definitely a move that is very effective for sure when you are in the outside lane and you don't have a lot of help. But you can see now Zachary Workman and Larry Fairman breaking up just a little bit, maybe 2-3 car lengths as we pan out single file.
Maybe short pitting here? Don't know. I don't know what these guys are up to.
Yeah, we'll see. That could be too. Good point. Everyone might be trying to get into position to make their final pit stop here. Looks like it will be under green. Lap number 49 working now. 5:10.
Maybe 2 stops. Maybe 1 stop. I have no clue.
Yeah, it should be 1 stop to the end here. There's 25 laps left. Most of these guys have been going about 30 laps. Might be a little bit less for the leader, so that might be why they're trying to stay out just a little bit longer at the front. We'll have to wait and see if anyone takes to pit road. Looks like one is going to. Oh, James Mullen's coming down, but we've got a spinner.
Really?
Brandon Briggs crashed. Or at least it shows that he crashed, made contact potentially, or spun. Not sure, but you see him on the banking here. Oh, he spun,
tried to get on the pit road.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah, we've got it on replay here. He's just getting down onto the apron here, and unfortunately gets.
He didn't want to get that penalty for committing a cone violation, and your day will be even longer.
Yeah, gets the brakes locked up here, starts to slide and loops it all the way around, unfortunately. Oh no, he just locked it up and really just missed pit road. He
Yeah,
didn't really spin out. He
I
was
did
just
that in
sideways because
practice.
he was trying to, yeah. Well, we'll jump back live now. Richard Sanchez still leading the field with 25 laps here to go, now 24 as they cross the stripe. Everyone's still kind of parading around. I believe over 190 miles an hour here.
I'm curious if I think all these drivers would take 4 tires.
I would think so too, after what we saw
Oh,
last
we got one
race.
dipping off here.
Brandon Briggs there, the lap car, catching back up to the field.
Looks like the 16 of Larry Fairman is making a pit stop.
Yep, he'll be in by himself.
Yeah, being by yourself is going to be a lonely company.
Yeah, as you get back up to speed, you don't have a lot of help, unfortunately. Eric Laurie here is going to be going a lap down as well. He must have lost the draft.
He was saying, I think he was trying to save that fast repair.
Yeah. It's definitely one of those things where, you know, you get a lot of cautions. We got 3 cautions within the first third of the race, and the middle third of the race from lap 25 to, or lap 30 to 50 there really has been green the rest of the way. So sometimes when you expect cautions to keep coming out, it's better to save that fast repair. But unfortunately for Eric Laurie,
yeah,
he's underpowered and going to be tracked a lap down. The battle for the lucky dog is with, is with Brandon Briggs right now. Actually, Brandon Briggs is 2 laps down. My apologies. So Eric Laurie would be the current recipient of that lucky dog. We're a caution to come out. But we are still green here with 21 to go, with 20 this time by. Still pretty much single file here for the most part. The 5, 10, 88, 10, 51, and 18 really just riding around here on that inside lane for most of the last 20 laps or so.
I'm just waiting for the 61 to make some moves here. But it doesn't look like he's got the help that he needs. He really needs to get that 052 on his rear bumper. Because it looks like he's losing Gael here.
Yeah, a little bit. 61 of Ryan Decker in that 9th position. Him and Brad Slagle's also lost a little bit as well. About 2 seconds behind the leaders right now. Ryan Decker's caught. There you go. We got him caught back up to the 71 of Gael Brooks. So right now we've got Richard Sanchez, Gabe Butler, Bud Steele, Jim Brooks, and Zachary Workman in our top 5. Tom Dixon, Timmy Reed, Gael Brooks, and Ryan Decker, as well as Brad Slagle in the top 10. Eric Laurie is 1 lap down. So is the 16 of Larry Fairman, though. Larry Fairman is about 20 seconds off of the pace. At least,
Yeah, these guys running side by side is not helping Brad's time here. Not at all.
So Larry Fairman's about 20 seconds behind, so about a half a lap behind. So he's 1 lap down. Not really going to contend with Eric Laurie for that lucky dog position. And then Brandon Briggs is also here in this front draft. And that'll do it for all the cars that are remaining on track. 17 laps to go as we get down to it. Still 1 more. Well, do you see something there?
These cars are pitting this time by.
All right.
Look for the leaders. Here we come.
Leaders this time by.
That's what I'm hearing over the radio.
See if they get in clean and away. Oh, the 88 sliding.
Loses it.
He's going to screw up a few people behind him. Man, that's a rare mistake for that 88 machine.
Yep.
So Richard Sanchez is going to get down and away. Bud Steele, Jim Brooks, Zachary Workman, Tim Reed, Gabe Butler, and Brad Slagle down on pit road that time in that order. Hopefully everyone got controlled before they got into their stalls. I saw Jim Brooks was a little bit wide at the commitment cone, but hopefully he didn't have any issues there. As we see the 61 and the 71 coming down this time by.
Oh, Jim Brooks took 2 tires. some of these other guys took 4, which is really smart.
Tom Dixon's also in this time by. We'll see if we can pick up the leader. Actually, the leader's being scored as be Eric Laurie as he passes the field this time by.
If I'm correct, he still has the pit.
Yeah, I believe so as well.
And when that cycles out, I think it's going to show Ryan Decker as your leader.
Yep. Ryan Decker and Gael Brooks came down together, and they had a very solid pit cycle.
Yeah.
It looks like they only took 2 tires right sides to get out front. Jim Brooks did as well. So we'll see. Hopefully, with this few laps left, it doesn't have an impact on the handling of those cars. But you see, once Eric Laurie pits, he's out by himself. He's actually coming to pit road this time by. We'll see him come down, and just behind him there, the 61 is going to pick up the lead with Gael Brooks pushing him with 14 laps to go. So they're split off by about a half a second back to Gael is to his dad there. Jim's about half second off. Looks like they're going to be catching them with Richard Sanchez in tow. It looks like, so Bud Steele, Zach Workman, and the rest of these guys all took 4 tires. So we got pretty much 2-car tandems throughout the rest of the field, it looks like.
I am curious and interested to see how those 4 tires fare well with Bud Steele and Zach Workman.
Yeah, we jump back to the lead. So the first guy with 4 tires is Richard Sanchez, and he's actually in second place.
Yeah, they ran faster laps that time around. They were about 2/10 faster.
Yeah, they had a lot of momentum. They actually got around no problem the 61 and the 71, so Jim Brooks give him the lead with Richard Sanchez out front. So it's kind of, like I said, a 2-car breakaway, 2-car tandems almost, where we got Jim Brooks and Richard Sanchez, and then Ryan Decker and Gael Brooks. Bud Steele here is about 3 seconds off the leader with Zachary Workman just behind him. And Timmy Reed is actually working with his teammate James Moen, who's a couple laps down now at this point. Then we'll go back to, looks like Brad Slagle and Gabe Butler in 8th and 9th have found each other. And they're working side by side right now as the 88 is going to now tuck behind them. And looks like Larry Fairman by himself, Tom Dixon also by himself, and then Brandon Briggs and Eric Laurie by themselves. So I'm sure they'll eventually catch up to a pack at some point, but for the most part, Jim Brooks through the 4th place car of Gael Brooks are pretty much the only ones left in contention for this one.
I would not count out Bud Steele and Zach Workman. They've been laying down some laps here.
Yeah, 2/10 quicker last time, or actually we'll see as it updates.
Oh, they lost about 2/10.
Yeah, they were about 2/10, trading 2/10 each lap back and forth, so they're about 3 seconds back with 9 laps to go. I don't see how anything other than a yellow is going to get them caught back up. We'll see if the 61 and the 71 have enough to catch the 51 and the 510.
Yeah, those 4 cars in line together are making a big difference.
Yeah, there's a little bit of...
they ran at the same time that time.
Yeah, there's about 4 or 5 car lengths between the 510 and the 61. Be interesting to see. I know the 510's probably got the best handling because he's on 4 fresh tires, but do you think the 61 and the 71 are going to have enough to get up there and try and make a move?
It's possible. I think if they do try to make a move, Gaia will probably go with the 61. If we'll happen to see. We're getting close here.
Yeah. We'll wait and see here. Looking on 7 laps to go this time by now.
Because if those guys start to fight, you know, Bud Steele and Zach Workman are going to be there.
Yeah, I think that Bud Steele and Zach Wickman are going to be way too far back at this point with 7 laps to go. But it looks like the 71 now passing the 61. Got enough of a run to get around him. Cal's going to try and get back up, but so interesting to note the 51, the 61, and the 71 all working together in team chat. The 510 of Richard Sanchez there sitting in second place. No teammates around, but he does have the freshest tires. And I know for the most part, usually when you get within 5 laps to go, kind of team orders are out the window, but I would expect to see the 51 and the 71 at least working together to try and get them into victory lane over the 510.
All the times I've seen the boot knockers getting up on these guys, and I think Jim is probably thinking, I think it's about time we give him a taste.
We'll have to wait and see what will happen if the Brooks can make something stick, try to win this race with Richard Sanchez currently the Oreo cream filling between the two of them with 4 laps to go. Ryan Decker has lost the handling on that 61 machine. Tires are too much of a factor here for him tonight. It looks like it's going to come down to these 3 cars. They're going to pass a couple lap cars here and there. Might be an opportunity for a couple picks. Hopefully we can watch this battle play out. 51 machine taking 3 laps to go as he crosses the stripe that time by. One more lap car ahead of them. That looks like that'll be Larry Fairman in the 16. 2 laps to go. Jim Brooks still continues to lead Richard Sanchez and Guy L. Brooks. Looks like for the most part the 2-tire call that Guy L. and Jim took has been enough to have enough handling to stay with Richard Sanchez. We'll see if those 4 tires on the 510 machine play into factor as we're going to be getting the white flag this time by.
Nope. I don't think that lap car is going to be coming into factor here. So, Jim, all you have to do is protect that bottom.
White flag out on the speedway. Jim Brooks holding a pretty wheel. Wide open as we come around the speedway one more time onto the backstretch. 51 leading the 510 with his son behind them. 510's going to make a move to the outside. He's not going to have help, though. Gael is going to push his dad on that inside lane. See if they can get enough momentum to have a father-son 1-2 finish.
Oh.
A little bit of a run for the 510 machine, though, on the outside on turn number 4. Wow. He's going to capture the win all by himself with the help of a side draft.
That side draft is so deadly.
Wow. All by himself, the 510 machine got a huge run on that outside lane. What an opportunity to use that side draft and get a run. Richard Sanchez picking up the win here at Atlanta Motor Speedway tonight. Definitely a great race. Came down to just making sure that they were in position at the end.
That's crazy.
And you can
that side draft, man.
You can see him burn it down now here at the end. This will be the first win of the season for the 510 machine of Richard Sanchez. But we've got a couple interviews to bring up here, so let's start getting to those. Those are going to be exciting. Get a chance to talk to the 71 machine of Gael Brooks. Man, you guys had a great final pit stop under green there. You were able to get back to the lead, really, for the most part there, working with Ryan Decker. And then obviously Jim, your dad, and Richard caught up with you guys. Did you guys expect to have that flawless of a final pit stop, or do you think the 2-tire call is really what got you that track position?
I think it was a 2-tire call. I was torn between fuel only or 2 tires, and I was like, I gotta do two, gotta do two. So went ahead and went with the 2 tires, and I thought that was gonna be the move. And then I noticed that unfortunately Ryan was kind of falling back. I was like, what's? Finally I looked at later on. I was like, wait, he's like 4 seconds back. It's like, Ryan, what happened? And he's like, oh, I didn't take tires. Like, oh no, because he was definitely slower on entry than I was, and so I felt like something was wrong. And finally I want getting by him. And then, yeah, man, I was like, all right, I know my plan here. I know exactly what I'm going to do. And that Richard guy, he snookered us on that one. He did a really good job. Got the side draft off of my dad and was able to still get by him. I tried to give him a big push, but I didn't want to do too much to wreck him. But that was a hell of a move by Richard. So big hats off to him. But won't lie, I'm a little good. I wasn't able to shove my dad to a win tonight.
Yeah, we were hoping to see it. It was definitely a great opportunity. We noticed, who knows, maybe it was some of your other Super Speedway experience. I know you ran a couple races in officials, and I believe you ran the Daytona 500 in officials as well. But a little bit, I wouldn't say aggression, but definitely maybe some more confidence, trying to be up in the front of the pack and making things happen tonight, which is not how we typically see you guys run your races.
Yeah, it wasn't a huge field, so like I'm gonna go have some fun. And at one point, I saw Brandon Briggs making a move up top. I initially there's a big checkup, so I jumped up top and fell back, and I saw Brandon pop up right away afterwards, and I could tell he wanted to go. He wanted to go tops. I was like, we've worked well together. I really like Brandon too. So like let's try. Let's see what we can have happen there. And so gave him a couple pulls. And we were looking good. We kind of ebbed and flowed a little bit, and then we got closer up, and and yeah, just Alice. I'm like, I had no at all instinct that was going to be happening. I just got drilled into the side. I couldn't help but laugh. It's like, what just happened? I never even saw it yet. I'll have to go back and look after. But yeah, it was a wild one for sure. And then I limped the damage until that last pit stop. So like, I got to take the fast repair because I couldn't hold on even with all the repairs done. So yeah, I had a blast. So I like wish we had a few more cars tonight, but I know it's been a long weekend for a lot of drivers and a few doing the NIS. So definitely good luck to Kevin in that one. But I had fun. I had a blast tonight.
Yeah, definitely a lot of fun. So yeah, some of the guys running that NIS, I believe it's a full length race series right on Sunday nights. So
yes, yeah, tonight's the full 200 lappers. So yeah, I did that yesterday, and I'm content. I made it to the finish mostly intact. But yeah, I know Kevin Freeze was running it, and I'm sure there's a few others here and there. Just yeah, there's only so many openings you get to do for those. So that's a fun one. A lot of guys always want to run that one. So yeah, I had a good time tonight though.
You had a chance.
I had a chance. I had a chance there. I had a chance here. Didn't work out on either one, but at least this time I didn't wreck anybody. So I told my dad, I was like, I tried to push you as hard as I could, but I did not want to wreck you because I'd feel even worse if I did that. So I gave it a shot, and I'll have to just try again harder next time.
Definitely doing just about everything you could there. Obviously, Richard had 4 tires where you guys had the 2, but that gave you the track position, and I think that was definitely the right call to get that track position. But man, it's exciting to watch it tonight. Definitely. Always love pulling for you as friend of the broadcast, part of the broadcast, obviously on I believe on Thursday nights as well. We appreciate you being around, Gael, and doing this with us, and it's always fun to root for you, buddy.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
So I'll say, I'll call myself here. I'll say before I get out of here, definitely want to thank you guys. I'll say, Boomer, you've always been a lot of fun to do these broadcasts with and to race with, and same goes for you, Matt. You've been with me pretty much from the get go, Green White Checkered. So I really appreciate you hopping on, racing with us, adminning for us, broadcasting with us. I say you've done everything, man. So thank you so much for everything. It's always a pleasure to share the booth with you guys or to share the track with you all. So. Really want to thank you guys, and obviously big congrats to Rick on that win there. I said I tried to see if I could get him finished second at worst, but just couldn't quite get there. And of course all the drivers here tonight. Definitely Gabe, thinking of you, man. I think it's not completely top secret. His wife's kind of had some stuff going on, so I'm definitely wishing her all the best, and definitely thinking and praying for her and the friends and family. And then yeah, like I said, just want to thank everybody, and definitely want to thank Peter for getting me on board, Josh Cox for Extra Life. I say it's a really cool foundation, helps out families for kids in hospitals and stuff. So it's a really, really cool little deal. So it's fun to just give them a little bit extra exposure. So definitely you can check them out, extra-life.org. And then, yeah, that I think will pretty much cover it for me. So guys, had a blast. I'll try to see if I can get more of these interviews. That's fun.
Yeah, man. It's been a pleasure to have you up in the booth with us for an interview, and great run tonight, buddy. All right, we've got a couple more to get to as well. So
Got to talk to the dad.
yeah, we've got
Is he around?
we've got the son, now the father, Jim Brooks, coming home second tonight after a greatly run race for you both. Were you guys expecting to be that far ahead of the pack when you guys took 2 tires at the end of that race?
I kind of expected a little bit because I know Gabe would take 4 because in the first race here he said that 4 every time, and Gael talked me into 2, so I went ahead and did that. And to be honest, I never looked at the distance because I was too busy trying to focus on staying on the track because it was a little loose there after just 2 tires.
Definitely a great opportunity to get that track position and try and stay out front. Were you expecting to see as much chaos as we saw in the first maybe third or so of this race after the last one here went green flag the whole way?
Yeah, I was a little surprised with the lower car count and everything, but it's a tough track, and the car tends to, especially after a little bit, tends to push up on the low line. So I think that was one of the wrecks. I think Gael got taken out that way. Real hard on, I think 1 and 2 getting in there. It wants to push up, or it could be 3 or 4. I don't remember exactly, but it can be a bit of a challenge of a track, and it's a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's been fun for us to watch you guys now come here twice, and I'm definitely appreciative from a broadcaster standpoint that you guys added this to the schedule. So, has you think it's been a good addition here, and as well as I'll let you comment on the iRacing Super Speedway as well. But do you think those have been good additions to the schedule here at Area 51?
I really do. I think mixing it up a little bit is good because it kind of gets, old hat. I know some people were unhappy that we ran this car in this series instead of the Xfinity. But I mean, you get teams and it's the same people all the time. At least this gives, like Richard and myself, a chance to have a shot at it. And I think it's just more fun to do different stuff than the same boring thing over and over. Just my opinion, but.
Definitely good to change it up every once in a while, and like I said, it's cool to see a little bit of parity so far this season. We've seen just about everyone get a chance to be up front at some point in time, but definitely a great opportunity for you guys tonight, and a pretty well-run race and great strategy at the end to get that second place. Did you think with Gael pushing you were going to have enough to get the win? Or did you? I mean, I know we know Richard Sanchez took 4 tires at the end. I don't know if handling took a play into it, but were you expecting with Gael behind you to be able to be pushed to the win?
No, not really, because he got the draft off of me, and then he got a side draft, and I was kind of a sitting duck there, and Gael couldn't really give me too much of a shot because it ended up wrecking me in the end too. So it was, I'm not disappointed. Richard did a great job there. He made a nice move, just like they would write it up in the textbook. So congrats to him. That's a nice win on his part.
Definitely hard earned for that 510 machine of Rick Sanchez, but we'll bring him up in a moment. We still want to give you, Jim, a chance to give any thanks and shout outs for that wonderful second place finish you've earned tonight.
Oh, no, just props to Area 51. We're a little low car count, but this is a little different series, so we may have to promote it if we run these again. And thank you guys for the broadcasting and covering it and making it fun for everybody. And Gael for trying to help me, but he did help me at least. I probably wouldn't have got second. I'd have taken 4 tires and been farther back. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Cool, good deal. Well, Jim, congratulations once again. Great race run. Obviously, there at the end, makes you got to be there to make that happen. So definitely a hard-earned effort, and congratulations again.
All right, thanks a lot.
We've got one more. We got Rick Sanchez to bring up into the booth, our race winner from this evening. Definitely I know we saw a big difference taking 4 tires in the last race. Do you think 4 tires, Rick, was enough to kind of help you with handling towards the end of that run and be in position to take the win, or were you surprised that Jim and Gael ran so well with 2 tires?
I wasn't really surprised. I I thought they were gonna, gang up on me and beat me up. I was prepared for a third place. It was gonna be a father son. Uh, and I told Gael, I said I'd have done it if my dad was in front of me. I'm pushing the hell out of him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It worked out. Maybe the 4 tires did help, but it was fun. Had a
Yeah.
blast.
Yeah, I mean, you still had to earn it quite a bit, obviously,
Oh
knowing that,
yeah.
for a while there towards that last run, Ryan Decker, Jim Brooks, and Gael Brooks, all guys who worked together, were there with you. I guess you already kind of said it. You were kind of expecting to settle for third place, not expecting to have any help, right?
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
what I kind of predicted there, if you would have made that move with 2 laps to go, you wouldn't have won this race.
No, I'd have been in third place.
Yeah, you would have been in third place. That side draft is so deadly because you can slow that car down at least 10, 15 miles an hour. Because, yeah, right after Gael gave Dad that big shove, you came out there and side drafted him. He lost all that momentum. And it just, wow, it was like perfection. I'm just hats off to you.
Yeah. Like I said, I was surprised, and I couldn't see him down there, so um, I did. I felt a little rub in there in the middle of 3 and 4, I think, and
That was a
and
little
then
bit
just
in
trying to
that
keep
you
it
guys never
keeping
touched.
it straight, and I was surprised. I really was when it said I got that one.
Yeah, I
Like I
think.
said, I couldn't even see him down there, so I don't know where I was.
Right. No, I mean, from what I could see from or what we could see from the broadcast, looks like you guys were, I mean, right on each other's doors, running hard. I mean, maybe net good, but I don't think it was anything too crazy for contact. But you
No,
guys were
no
just running hard,
Ah,
and
that's rubbing
yeah,
racing. That was fun. That
yeah,
was a
that was
blast.
great to
Perfect.
see. Yeah, I mean, had you practiced that move? I mean, for the most part, it looked like you had that timed out perfectly to get the run down the backstretch, pull out, and then stall them off a 4 with that little bit of a side draft through the corner. I mean, have you practiced that move before? Because it looked like it was timed to nearly perfection.
Not really. I just like you said earlier, if I'd have went a lap before, they'd have eventually pushed past me, and I probably would in third anyway. But that's like time to go when you come out of 3 or 2, and then hope for the best. But I fully expected that Pop and Son were going to push past me. So it was a great race though, and fun too.
Yeah, definitely. Still had to earn it. Definitely a little more chaos that we saw, or I saw than we maybe expected after the first race went green, but it seemed like it calmed down quite a bit there towards the middle part of the race, and you guys were just kind of able to ride for the most part with, I think you were leading most of that middle third of the race or so.
Yeah, I think everybody had got their fast repairs, and they knew they needed to chill out a little bit. But I messed up at first. I'm not real used to this car yet, and I fell off. I was, I think, 10 seconds back for that first yellow came out.
Just from tire wear, or?
The draft on these cars are weird. If with the Xfinity, you can drop back, almost 2 seconds and still catch the draft and catch back up. This car, it seems like half a second you drop off, you're not paying attention. All of a sudden, they're gone.
Interesting. Yeah, definitely. Definitely, obviously, it's a different car. I mean, there's a lot of aerodynamics that are quite a bit different from the previous generation of Cup car and the Xfinity car, but I didn't realize it was that drastic out of the draft.
Oh yeah, especially you're used to almost muscle memory with them trucks or the Xfinities.
Yeah.
You can relax a little bit back there.
Right, you just kind of get used to it. Yeah.
Yeah, get a little lackadaisical with this car. Like I said, you'll lose a draft real quick.
Well, obviously had a couple time cautions to catch back up and quite a few laps led, and we're in the right position at the end after the last pit stop and made the race-winning move out of turn number 4. Definitely a hard-earned win for you tonight, Rick, and I want to give you a chance to give any thanks and shout-outs for that victory.
First and foremost, Era 51, great league. You guys in the booth are always great, and Boot Nakas who let me run with them. They're a great group of guys there.
Awesome. Well, congratulations once again, Rick. Hope you guys celebrate this hard-earned victory, and we'll catch you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys. We'll catch you next time.
All right, that was Rick Sanchez of the 510 machine, working with Team Bootnaka this season. Again, a first place finish for him after a bit of ups and downs for him, but able to recover and get that win. What did you see tonight here that you weren't expecting, Matt, from our first race at Atlanta to tonight?
That's a pretty good question. Not the dominance of the Team Bootnaka, I'll tell you that much. It's a little bit different field without them guys. It opened a lot of doors for some people to catch a win. Overall, I was pretty satisfied with that finish. It was really great. The last time we were here, we did have a nice little finish the last time, down to the last lap. This track is very good. I like to have it keep it on the schedule. It's brought out some great last laps of the race. Strategy involved, and God, those guys, drivers out there, that was just phenomenal.
Yeah, definitely was a great race to see. A little bit of chaos at the beginning, but settled down after a little while, and got to see some great racing pretty much through the end of the race there tonight. Definitely excited that we get to come back here one more time for this season. We are now halfway through this season with only 2 more races left in the regular season before we get to our cutoff of 8 drivers in the playoffs. Take a chance here to bring back not that graphic, but try and bring our race results up here. Sorry, some more technical difficulties, but we have them now. We saw Richard Sanchez, Jim Brooks, Gael Brooks, obviously talked to them already. Bud Steele finished about 5 seconds off the pack with Zachary Workman behind him. Timmy Reed in 6th and Ryan Decker in 7th. So Ryan actually fell all the way from 4th to 7th after losing the handling on those tires. We saw Brad Slagle, Gabe Butler, and Larry Fairman round out that top 10 with Tom Dixon, Brandon Briggs, Eric Laurie, James Moen, and Kevin Freese in our top 15. And we saw Dude Conrad, first car retired for the night, and obviously Matt and Edwin not taking to the grid. So a bit of a shorter field, but yeah. Bit of a shorter field tonight, but kind of somewhat expected after lots of other stuff going on tonight. Obviously, some people doing maybe some Daytona 500 parties and running those full-length NIS races on iRacing.
No, thank you.
Puts those on, so definitely cool to see everyone who showed up tonight. And I mean, we had some great action for sure. Like you mentioned, we saw a chink in the armor of Team Bootnaka. Other than Richard Sanchez, obviously Rick was able to get the race win, and did it just about all by himself. But definitely was surprised to see Team Bootnaka have quite a bit of troubles, especially Gabe Butler with multiple issues getting in and off of pit road.
Yeah, you got pit road is very treacherous on hot tires. You just got to walking in gingerly. Like I see some of these guys some people were taking it too lightly, and that's when you lose your time. Practicing during the practice for the races, that's what I do every time, and it does pay off. Hopefully these guys can learn from that.
Yeah, hopefully. Well, we've now got 2 races here in the books at Atlanta Motor Speedway. Definitely have more info to bring back the 3rd time we come around here. We'll be back next week at Talladega Super Speedway, a track that we're a little bit more familiar with. Should be a fun opportunity to get there and have a little bit of maybe not the same car as typical, but obviously with the NextGen series, but a track that everyone is more familiar with. So should be a lot of action at the 2.66 mile high banked oval there, and will be a lot of fun. If you liked what you saw tonight here at Atlanta, we've got one more race for you this week in the Truck Series on Thursday nights. And as I say that, I'm remembering that they've got an off week that was not the same as ours, so they may actually be off this week. Have to see if I can confirm that for you before we sign off, but it was definitely a great race. And yep, I have nope, they'll be at Atlanta this Thursday, the Truck Series. So yes, this Thursday action at Atlanta Motor Speedway. If you liked what you saw tonight, go and check back here on Thursday night, same time, different night, different car. same track though, and there'll be a lot of action to be had as we have the Sunday night series as well as the Thursday night series every week, and there'll be no more off weeks for the rest of this first season of 2023. Appreciate everyone hanging around. We'll have an update on the points before the next race and get you all prepped for that as we get closer to the playoffs here on on Sunday and on Thursday nights as well. I'll be here with you running the show with Matt alongside me on Sunday nights, and should be a blast. But until next week, we hope you are safe, stay safe, and have a great week. And we'll catch you next time. Thanks everybody for tuning in, either now or later watching it back. Always appreciate everyone who takes the time to stop by and drop a chat or like or subscribe. Definitely helps us out, and appreciate covering the Area 51 action here on Green White Checker TV. So that'll do it for us. Myself, Boomer Logan, and Matt Wagner. Thank you all, and have a great night and a great week.